Councilmember Rick Cole here at my kitchen table where I do my reading for Monday night city council meetings. This is the regular city council meeting agenda, but last week we also got the audited annual comprehensive financial reports for the city. These document every penny of the more than $1 billion of revenues and expenses for last year's fiscal year. And it makes for interesting reading. For example, if you go to learn about our city's pension debt, um, it jumped last year by more than $20 million. It now is nearly $600 million of long-term pension obligations that are unfunded. And if you go to our city's general fund, our revenues were up just 0.6%, but our expenses jumped 13.8%. Conversely, if you go over here to our utility, the electric utility, expenses were down 10%, but charges were up 10%, which means the utility made a net profit of $79 million, even as we're studying increasing revenues by raising your rates next year. Keep that in mind. Turning to the Pasadena Center Operating Company report, that's the group that operates the convention center and the civic auditorium. We learned that while revenues were only up 1%, expenses jumped 17.5%. And that means that the net operating loss of those operations went from $3 million last year to $4.5 million, in fact, $4.7 million this year. Most people are interested in how the Rose Bowl is doing. Well, on net operating revenues and expenses, we lost $1.85 million. But that's before the city and the Rose Bowl had to pay $12.1 million of debt service for the debts that we owe for the last rehabilitation of the Rose Bowl. So that means that the net loss for the Rose Bowl was on the order of $14 million. They're good answers to these questions. Pasadena is a well-run city, and over the years, it's been conservatively managed. But in this era of climate change, of pandemics, of the potential for shocks to the system from federal cutbacks, there's not a way we can take any of this for granted. I asked that these financial reports be referred to the Finance Committee. That's what normally happens, but this year, because of the fires, the January Finance Committee meeting was canceled. The council overrode my suggestion on a 7-1 vote. But there will be an opportunity, even though the council's already approved these reports, to ask these questions at the next Finance Committee. And as a member of that committee, I'll be asking those questions on your behalf, because this is your money, and you should know how it's spent, and we should be paying close attention, because we can't take for granted that Pasadena's good financial situation will continue forever. We have over $2 billion of unfunded capital needs, of things that need to be fixed, including $78 million worth of improvements to our fire stations that have been postponed for years now. Probably we need to be taking a hard look at that in the wake of what's just happened. So stay tuned. I hope to give you more answers on these questions.